Welcome to this quick video on the usage of the new CWR form. First of all, right now we're logged into the TIM Solutions website. This website will be available through the TCOM. So on this website, you can see here on the left hand side there's a link to go to the CWR lists. By clicking here, right now, this is a blank list. We have no CWRs entered into the system at this point. If I were to add a CWR as a requester, I would first click on this Add Document button. From here, I get access to the form. As you can see, it's a fairly simple form. I'll scroll through it quickly. So we kept it down to the basics. First of all, what you need to enter, information wherever you see a red asterisk. So these fields are mandatory. Let's start here. Requester name. I'll put in my name, Martin Fauché. I have to put in a date. This is the creation date. So let's choose today's date. I have to enter a training center. There's a selection that's given to that's made available in the template. This selection comes from all the data or the curriculum information that's already entered into the TIM Solution website. So let's choose Montreal. Selecting a curriculum is mandatory as well. Again, all the curriculum information that you see here in the drop-down is related to the TIM Solutions website. So let's just randomly choose a program, Dassault 7X. I have to then go into the requirements for the revision. So the selections that I need to make are the product name. So I've got a standard set of products that are highlighted here. If the product or the deliverable you seek revisions on is not part of this list, you can always choose the other please specify selection, and by doing that you'll be able to go to the text box right here and type in your selection. Let's say random deliverable. I have to put in a magnitude of change. So if you seek your assessment of the revisions required on a particular deliverable is either ranging from about 25% to 50% to 75%, or it might be a total rework in some cases. Right here, let's choose 25%. Justification of the revision change request could be any one of the items highlighted here. In our case, let's say it's a OEM documentation release. This means that a new OEM version has come out of a certain publication, and it mandates some changes in our deliverables. There's a description of work. If you feel like adding some extra, well, actually, it would be pretty much a requirement to add details as of what the work is for your particular CWR. So in our case, I'll just put in a dummy statement. Next is a section where you can attach some markups or some particular source materials. So let's say I want to, first of all, you need to click the box and then you can scroll, browse for documents, and in our case I'll just select a PowerPoint presentation. And then I'll attach it. And now, as you can see, my PowerPoint presentation is available in the document CWR. Next section is a priority section. By default, it's critical, so 6 to 30 days. The normal priority would be 30 days or more. or a specified required date. And then you've got safety of flight, which is 1 to 5 days. This would be something we need to work on as soon as we get the CWR. If you look right here below, you can see that the standard is to have a serial approval process when it's a critical or normal selection. If I go to a safety of flight selection, you'll see that this changes to a parallel process, meaning that all the approvers will get the approval request simultaneously, and that way we can accelerate the approval process. Because if I use the typical serial process, it would mean that all approvers get the workflow of the approvals is one after the other. So it goes from one approver to the other until you get to the end of the workflow. In a case of a safety issue, we need to accelerate that. As a requester, if you know who the SME that should be working on this CWR should be, then you can always add that SME name to this text box here. If you've got some additional comments, you can add them as well in the comments section. So now let's go into the approval workflow. As you can see here, there's a submit for approval selection. When you see this video, this selection might not be available. We've removed it. So if you do see this selection when you generate your CWR, please click on the yes selection, because we need to make sure that the workflow is followed on the approval. However, as I said, in a very near future, that section or that selection would be removed and would automatically go through the workflow for the approvals. I need to select here either a technical training manager or a fleet chief instructor for approval. So technical training manager would be in the case of a CWR related to maintenance training. Fleet chief instructor, CWR related to pilot training. I need to put in an approver as part of the standards group as well. Need to put in the LHOT that's taking care of the program, and also an ops leader approval. Again, if I go to the safety selection here, you can see that there's a new approver that's been added to the list. So the regulatory approval would be required in this case, because normally safety issues are related to regulatory requirements. So going back to the critical list, so for the sake of making this this process, for the sake of the video, basically I won't put in actual fleet chief instructor names or standard group names. I'll just put in my own name. So fleet chief instructor, let's type in Martin Fauché. So you can type directly in here the name of the person, and then if you click on this this checkbox here, it's going to automatically validate and find the person's name within the network. You could also browse through a list of people. So by typing, let's say Jean-Paul Carrier here, and then selecting the search button. I see Jean-Paul here, I click on the selection and select OK. So please make sure to put in an approver for all the boxes. This will be mandatory. So let's keep going, and I'll just add my name everywhere. Okay, so now we're ready to go. We're ready to launch the approval cycle on the CWR. So let's just go ahead and submit the CWR through the button here on your top left corner. Here you go. You got my CWR created. The name of the CWR will always be the center name, then followed by the program, and the last 3 digits are pretty much a random identifier that SharePoint automatically gives. So now you've got all sorts of different columns that you can use to sort through the list of CWRs, because right now there's only one. Eventually this list will get populated. So for example, I can sort by training centers, I can sort by training program. Okay, can also sort ascending or descending order. So whichever order is best for you. You can also sort by creation, date of creation. So whatever works for you is available through the filters here on the different columns. So let's go to my email. By now I should have received the workflow approval emails that are generated automatically. Alright, so I see here this first email tells me that the approval for the CWR Montreal DA7X NAN has started. Then I get a specific task as an approver. Obviously, if you're a requester and you're not part of the approvers, you won't be getting this email. So if I look at this specific task, it tells me that I need to, as one of the approver, I need to complete the approval. So by clicking on this edit this task button in the email, I'll go directly to a panel where I see some comments of the CWR, and also have a approve, reject, cancel button. So let's say in my case I approve it. So now going back to the CWR, which you can always go back to by clicking on the CWR link on the left hand side, now I can see that the courseware approval workflow is in progress. So then the next person in line would receive the same type of email that I just showed you, and would have to complete the approval cycle. And by the time the last approver approves the CWR, the approval status here would go to completed. So for us, this would mean that within Training Solutions Development, we would start work on this CWR only once the CWR approval process is done. So hopefully this short video has been helpful to you, and if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact Martin Fauché or Jean-Paul Carrier. Thank you.